We got greasy, folks. Good morning, folks, and happy Tuesday. So, we have spent our morning listening to some Alan Watts. If you don't know who that is, he's just I guess you could call him a philosopher, a psychonaut. I don't know. He's a guy who thought a lot about life. And, you know, I think so often we get caught up on our past failures, our past successes, past trauma, the past. And then we get so caught up on the future. What are we going to eat? How are we going to pay these bills? What am I going to wear tomorrow? How tired am I going to be by the end of the day? But you cannot see nor hear the past or the future. The visible reality, the only visible reality that we have is the present. So we have to be focused on what we are doing, the task at hand. If we are focused on what we're doing in an hour, in a year, in a month, and 20 minutes, what are we going to do at the end of the day? We're not going to be solely focused on the task at hand. And honestly, that's just going to manifest like anxieties and stuff. So, and even Jesus said it. I mean, think about the Sermon on the Mount. Think about it. He said, do not worry about tomorrow, what you shall eat, what you shall drink. I'm not going to quote it word by word, but because I'm not that good. What you shall clothe yourself. For that's like, I think he said rabble, thought of mind. And if the Son of God is not worried about the past or the future, and he is only worried about the task at hand in the present, why should we be worried about all of this? At the end of the day, the future is going to come, and the past is going to pass you by, you know? The present will pass you by if you aren't focused on the task at hand, the goal at hand, the moment at hand, you know what I mean? So, and I know I get myself caught up in this sometimes. I woke up this morning and I was like, man, I'm going to be so tired by the end of the day. And then I see this video and I start listening to it and I'm like, you're a freaking moron, bro. What are you worried about the end of the day for? When the day just started. You shouldn't be worried about the end of the day. You should be worried about getting your breakfast made, eating your breakfast, enjoying it, telling JB you love her, and then making it out the door. Now, we have to be worried about driving to the gym. Once we make it to the gym, the only thing we need to be focused on is the task at hand. Getting stronger today than we were yesterday. Then once we get back in the car, we should only worry about driving, enjoying the ride, listening to music. Enjoy the present, because it'll eventually pass you by. And I get caught up in the past a whole lot, and I get caught up in the future a whole lot. And I find myself not in the present. So, just a train of thoughts. If you've never heard of Alan Watts, go listen to it. I don't remember who did the video, but someone did like a little animation of one of his lectures. Go and find it. It's one of those whiteboard animations. Much better well said than I did. So, I guess with that being said, let's go knock out this lift, go get stronger today than we were yesterday, and focus on the now. Well, we have made it to the gym, and well, here is a perfect example of Being worried about the future has screwed me up for the present, because I woke up this morning 15 minutes later, or got out of bed 15 minutes later than what I should have, because I was worried about how tired I'm going to be in the future, which has nothing to do with me getting up out of bed to go get a cup of coffee, start my breakfast, and get out the door. If I'd have just gotten up when I had first woken up, you know, we'd have more time to knock out this lift. But we don't, because we were focused on how fatigued we were going to be in the future. See, folks, worry about the present. Worry about the right now. Worry about it. Because if you don't, then you may screw up the rest of your day. You may screw up the rest of your future, you know what I mean? Just by focusing on the future. Kind of crazy how that works. You're overly focused on the future, screws up the future, instead of just being present in the moment, or present in the present. So let's get in here, knock out the lift, get stronger today than we were yesterday, and then go get better today than we were yesterday. Lift complete. Let's go change out and get our asses out of here. We got greasy, folks. Lift complete. I mean, sort of, for what we had time for. Thursday, our goal is to get out of the house 15 minutes earlier so that we have plenty of time to do everything that we need to do in here, because goodness, last week and now starting this week, the same exact thing. 15 minutes late, 15 behind on the whole entire day. But we did get some good work, and we got nice and greasy today, folks. Very greasy. How do we do it? Well, we actually push ourselves in the gym. We don't lollygag around. When we get in there, we don't stop moving. We don't sit there and look at our phones. We don't do all that other stuff, chit chat with people. We get in, do what we have to do, take as little bit of time in between for rest, and we get work done. Let me tell you, folks, some of you jokers need to drop the weight. If I'm speaking to you, you know I'm speaking to you. I watched this guy today. He had like 315 on. When he was squatting with 135, he looked like he was struggling with it. I mean, I wouldn't say struggling, but like there was lacking of form. Let's put it that way. His form was lacking. His range of motion was lacking. Like he was doing the whole, and then he goes and puts on 225. Then he jumps up to 315, and I'm like, bro, your knees are going to be freaking gone. Your back's going to be hurt. Your whole body's going to be freaking destroyed. And if he would have just dropped the weight a little bit, like a 185, maybe even stayed at his 225, 205. I mean, his form didn't look really great on the 135. I'm not saying there's not a time and a place for partial reps, but you do have to worry about some kind of range of motion. Definitely when you're coming all the way up and you're not keeping tension on the muscles during your partial reps. I mean, I understand if you don't come all the way up and you don't go all the way down and you're keeping tension on the muscles at all times, right? But that is not what this guy was doing. He was doing the whole, like, bend your knees like an inch or two and then come back up. Not to mention he wasn't shooting his butt back first, so his back's gonna be hurting. And there was just all around, like, if he would just focus more on a little bit of form, a little bit of his range of motion, I'm pretty sure he would have much more results and probably not hurt as bad. Not to mention he was taking like a century and a half for rest. And it's like, dog, if you would just up the intensity a little bit, work on your range of motion, drop the weight a little bit, you could have so much better results. But of course there's people watching, there's people looking at him, so he's afraid that someone's judging him. Well, I'm not judging you about the amount of weight you're putting on. I'm judging you about the form in which, of course I didn't say this to him, but in my head I'm like, dude, he's gonna destroy his body. So folks, do not ego lift. Don't put on a whole bunch of weights. Like, yeah, he was going up and down with it, but he was going that far, And then he was coming up. He was going that far. He was coming up. And it's like, what are you doing? Working your meniscus with 315? Like, insane, folks, insane. I'm you know, I would go and help him out a little bit, but of course, guys are guys, and if you go and correct them, then they think you're taking a shot at them, and it's like, no, I'm just trying to protect you. But like I said earlier, we are like 15 minutes behind on everything today because we were worried about the future, and JB informed me that all the interstates and all the roads that we can go down to get to practice are gridlocked today. So this should be a lot of fun. Let's get our butts to practice and go get better today than we were yesterday. Folks, remember, protect the body. Yes, you're in the gym to build the body, get stronger, whatever, build muscle, but you're not in there to destroy your body. So work on good form. Keep the weight as light as you need to and as heavy as you need to keep good form. And yeah, that's all I can really say. Don't be like that guy and go like a quarter of the, not even a quarter, a tenth, 10%, 5% range of motion. Let's go 5% range of motion and end up destroying your body. Well, folks, luckily the GPS was wrong and JB was wrong. I mean, I'm not saying traffic was like a straight shot, but we did knock off like 10 minutes. So I'm pretty sure we got here in enough time to catch technique today, and which I didn't think we were going to be able to. So let's get in here and get better today than we were yesterday. Practice went great. We got better today than we were yesterday. We didn't get bit today, so that's a plus. We do have a little mark from where we got bit yesterday. But then at the end of practice, I decided to choose the worst partner, a 200-pound friggin' 5'8", 5'6", 5'8" guy with the shortest arms to guillotine me, to work on my guillotine escapes. I drilled it for maybe 5-10 minutes. And then for a 5-minute round, I put my head in a guillotine and worked that same exact escape. And let me tell you, he's got a freaking grip like a vice. He's got short, stubby arms. I guess I picked the best partner to make sure that I'm working the escapes correctly. But goodness, he was not taking a light on me. When I told him to choke me, he started to rip my freaking head off of my shoulders. But we did hit the escape, so that's pretty cool. Multiple times. He did tap me a few times too. But I did hit the escape. We're getting better at it. Make it more proficient instead of like spazzing out of it sometimes. Because that's, I mean, I know to fight the hands, but fight the hands and do what? Spaz? Fight the hands and extract your head? Well, I always get choked worse that way. So we worked on it, and I think we are, I want to say mastering it, but we're getting better at the technique in which allows you to more efficiently get out of a guillotine. And I guess we picked the best partner we could use. Short, stubby, and a grip like a freaking King Kong, Godzilla. I don't know. Dude's got a crazy grip. Thought he was gonna break my freaking skull. But I'm freaking starving, folks, so we aren't gonna go all the way home today because we don't have any clients today and we don't have any classes that we have to teach today. So I'm just gonna go park in the park and eat me some lunch, folks. Well, we have made it to the park, and I'm pretty hungry, folks. So I guess I'm gonna bust open this lunchbox, slam these Sammys, and then lean this seat back and take me a little bit of a nap before we gotta get up to go get better today than we were yesterday. Yet again, folks. Alrighty, our lunch hit the spot. It is nap time, folks. Well, that nap was pretty freaking nice. Kind of toasty in here, but nice. I guess since we've been jammed up in the car for 2 hours taking a nap, we might as well get out and stretch it out a little bit, get our bodies nice and loose, then head down the road to go grab us an energy drink, and then go get better today than we were yesterday, folks. Wow, that felt great. A nice little stretch in the sun before practice, after a nap. Life don't get much better than that. But I guess let's go grab us a go-go drink and then maybe a little fruit and head to practice to go get better today than we were yesterday. I don't really need a go-go drink today. I feel pretty on top of it right now, but it'll only help in my performance in practice, so we might as well go get one. Alrighty, a few snacks and some extra water secured for practice. Let's go get better today than we were yesterday, folks. Well, just as we were finishing our pineapple and our meat stick, Coach pulled in and opened up the door. So let's get in here and get better today than we were yesterday, folks. Holy freaking cow, folks. I just did a whole bunch of sparring, a whole bunch of it. It didn't start off like that. I just walked over to the boxers, started working with them, ended up sparring like 10 rounds with them. And then my buddy Jason came in and I was like, hey bro, you want to get some MMA spars in? He's like, yeah. Let's start off with like 3 boxing, 3 kickboxing, and then do like 5 MMA spars. 2 hours later, and we're done. We did a whole lot of sparring. 2 hours worth of sparring. So let's run next door, get a few jits rounds in, and then clean up and call it a freaking night, folks. That was one amazing night. I guess day of training. Goodness, we didn't expect to be pushing ourselves that hard and that long today, but that was quite spectacular. Amazing. Like, y'all ever been so brain dead after a workout that it almost feels good to feel brain dead? Like, that's how I felt today. That was the dopamine rush that you get after surviving all of that training, all of the work that we put in today is unmatchable. That's the only way I can explain it. Unfreaking matchable. That was, it's making me excited for April 25th, folks. Y'all have no idea. No idea whatsoever. That was today's training. It was a good day of training. I don't know how to explain it. That's the only thing I can say is today, while focusing on trying to be present in the moment and not worrying about what I had to do later or what I had to do tomorrow or in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, how tired I'm going to be later, and just focusing on now, made the world a freaking difference. I had fun with literally everything I was doing. I was like, well, if I'm only focusing on now, then I must have fun now. And of course, I've lived my whole life like that. Like, I have a firm belief that if you think about one thing that you would like to do with your life that you could spend the rest of your life doing, well, go and do that then. Don't be worried about the materialistic, the money, everything like that. Eventually, you will figure out a way to make money off of it. That's just how I've lived my whole entire life. But sometimes I forget about being present when we have so many tasks and obligations that we have to do throughout our week and throughout our day. And today we made a point of making sure that we are present, in the present. And that changed my whole outlook on today. Like, goodness. Now I'm going to be present about me driving home and enjoying my ride. And then when I get home, I'm going to be present about spending time with JB and enjoying my dinner. And then since JB is home tonight, and she hasn't been home in a few nights, you know what we're going to do? We're going to catch some dubs on fort, and we're going to be present during our fort. And we're going to focus on that and only that. And I'm in a firm belief. I mean, I'm not saying this Alan Watts guy is like the know-it-all, like he knows everything, because there's some things that he says are a little wonky. But I will say, that and it's called After School. That's the channel. His lecture that after school did based on man, I now forgot the title of it, but the one based on being present, the one I watched this morning, he was on to something. Because you don't know the future. You can't see it, you can't hear it, you can't feel it. And you can't hear the past, and you can't change the past, nor can you see the past. So why not just focus on the now? And that's what we did all day. And it made today freaking phenomenal. Literally phenomenal. So I guess throughout your day-to-day life, don't forget to focus on the now, folks. But let's get home so that we can eat some dinner and hop on some games and catch some dubs with JB, folks. Well, look at us, folks, making it home a whole 15 minutes sooner than what the GPS had told us we were going to. I don't know if that's something we're supposed to be proud of, but I'm proud of it. You know, if there's anything that we can learn from today, it's that being present in the present is very, very, very important. So often we get anxious about the future, anxious about the past failures, anxious about this, anxious about that, worked up over this, worked up over that. And honestly, I think the good Lord said it the best on the Sermon on the Mount. Do not worry about tomorrow. Do not worry what you'll eat, what you'll drink, what you'll clothe your body with. If he says that, then what are we worried about? I mean, yes, he is the Son of God. But didn't he, come to teach us the way to live life the best way possible? And he says not to worry about tomorrow. And I take that even down smaller. Let's not worry about 10 minutes about what's going to happen in 10 minutes, what's going to happen in 10 hours, what's going to happen at the end of the day, how you're going to feel by the end of the day. Don't worry about all that. If you worry about right now, literally right now, then the future is going to be bright. If you give everything that you have in the present, every present moment that you have, and then the future is going to be good for you. The good Lord said it the best. He said not to worry about it. Don't worry about tomorrow. And I know as humans, we get worried about materialistic things, how much money we have, this, that, and this. But I believe that if you stay in the present, you give everything you have in the present, that the future will just work out. I mean, it ain't going to work out if you're worrying about it. It's going to work out by you working in the present to make the future good. Does that make sense? I mean, we can't see what's going to happen in the future, nor can we really see what happened in the past. Does that make sense? So don't worry about past failures. And don't be anxious about what tomorrow may bring. Worry about right now. Enjoy right now. Give it everything you got right now. And things will work out pretty well for you, folks. That's just how I see it. You can see it however you want. But from my viewpoint, when I focus on the present, the day is just so great. That's just how it works. That's just how it freaking works, folks. But JB has already gotten her a little Fortnite time in, so I guess I'm gonna head inside and eat some dinner because I'm freaking hungry now, and hop on some games, play some games for as long as our hearts desire, catch a few dubs, and just continue living in the present, folks. Not worry about tomorrow, not worry about next week, not worry about next month, but worry about right now. So with that being said, folks, stay present. Good night. BillyGoat loves you.